Hey everybody, Plushy here, and today I'm gonna quickly summarize the 32 million download campaign. They just dropped it out of nowhere, and it's nothing too crazy, unlike the 30 million download campaign, because we just got 10th Annie, and also, there are a lot of events ongoing, so I guess this is just a tiny bonus, but free stuff is always nice, so without further ado, let's get into it. So first of all, they added the part 2 of new player GSSR. We had this, I think at this point, about 1 year ago on an A. Basically, you can immediately roll it if you've passed part 2, and it has a 30-day duration. But if you haven't reached part 2, this GSSR will not be available. And the moment you reach part 2, they will give you 30 days of this banner, so you can decide whether you want to pay money for it or not. This GSSR banner costs 12 paid courts instead of 15, but it is significantly worse because you don't get to pick from a subset of banners. It's just everything in one banner. And looking at the lineup, none of them are like super broken in my opinion. Scotty Caster is pretty good, but if you already have Ruler Scotty and Archer Tiamat, Scotty Caster might feel a little bit lackluster. Melt is a top tier DPS if you don't have her. And also Musashi is pretty good, MHXA is also pretty good, and there are just like decent DPSs overall in this lineup. And finally, Summer BB is another highlight. If you have Olga or CL and you don't have Summer BB, she's a pretty good unit to own, just for more options. But I personally wouldn't bet on it because the pool is so diluted. If you're someone who has a bunch of paid courts to spare anyways, sure, why not? But if you're someone who usually deliberately buys paid courts for GSSR, this is not a very good one, unfortunately. On top of that, of course, we have the usual special login bonus. And as you can see here, you have to log in for 10 days to get all of them. And we always start week with just apples and mana prisms and QP, and then as the day goes on, we move on to the better rewards, such as a set of 4-star gold foes, 1 rare prism, 1 lore, and finally 30 Saint Courts on the 10th day. So try to at least log in for 10 days during this event period to get the 30 courts. I mean, 1 multi is 1 multi, right? They also added more permanent mission rewards for clearing main story. Mainly for part 1 this time, and as you can see here, it's just a lot of QP pieces, monuments, and 5-star embers, which is super nice because it's a lot of EXP, and even evocation leaves so that newer players can buy welfares easier. And I actually checked my present box. It's a total of 360 5-star embers, so that is a massive amount. It's actually really good if you want to 120 someone, especially during grand raid periods. It's a very big boost to your total EXP count. And also, you get 1 extra Bond Grill if you clear Solomon. So Bond Grills are also becoming a scarce material because of how good the bonds are for grand raids. They also added more rewards for beating OC4, which is essentially the latest story chapter. They'll give you an additional 1 lore and 1 grail. So if you are up to date with the story, all of these will immediately be available for you to claim. They also refreshed both the Mana Prism and the Rare Prism shops. For the Mana Prism shop, you should obviously try to buy everything. It has 5 more tickets and 30 more teapots. Those are some of the highlights. But of course, you also have faux pas and gold foes as usual. And the Rare Prism shop, I don't recommend buying unless you have a lot of Rare Prisms. I personally will be buying the faux pas, but for normal players, they're probably a bit too expensive in my opinion. They also added even more event 5-star CEs to the Mana Prism shop, but these are really expensive. It's 1,000 per copy, so 1 MLB copy is 5k, so be very careful before you decide to buy any of them. The only highlight, I guess, are Ocean Flyer and Maiden Halloween, which is 75% heal boost. And if you really like a solo unit that focuses on healing, this is, I think, you should absolutely own. Everything else is just okay. 20 Star Bomb is fine, Aerial Drive is okay, but none of them are like super extraordinary. Personally, again, if you don't have a need for any of these and you're short on Mana Prism, I wouldn't recommend buying any of them. They're permanent anyways, so you're not in a rush. They also reran some of the 5-star command codes from previous events. If you already own them, you cannot buy a second copy. They're only for if people miss them. So unlike the CEs. The Arjuna Ultra one gives you 3 stars and then heals you. The Okita Ultra one gives you star absorb up and 10% crit up. The Da Vinci one gives the entire party 8% MB damage up. And the Lancer Artoria Bunny one gives you a random card type buff for 1 turn. So I do use the Okita one a lot, the Okita Ultra one, and the Da Vinci one mildly. But overall, I don't think you need to buy any of them. They're just like the CEs and are permanent, so you can just keep them in the shop and only buy them when you need them, because 5 rare prisms each is pretty expensive. They're extending the half AP duration for Ember farming nodes. So if you really want to 120 someone, this is your chance. And it pairs very well with the double super suck chance for leveling up CEs and servants as usual. This isn't a rare occurrence at this point, so I wouldn't, take too much note of it. But it's a really nice bonus to have if you just happen to be leveling up servants. So overall, this event is pretty just mediocre, but I guess that's to be expected because they have been pushing out a lot of just mini campaigns, and also 10th Annie was very huge. Also, the special rerun banner for this download campaign is Morgan and Bavanshi, but I really feel like rerun banners just don't feel impactful anymore because they rerun everything for grand raids anyways. So none of these feel special, but if you really like Bavanshi and somehow you missed it and you don't want to wait for Grand Archer, sure, go ahead, pull for her. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.